What is going on, guys? This is our first ever podcast, and we had no idea what the hell we were doing. We kind of just set up at the Toronto Snowmobile Show. I didn't even remember doing an introduction, so that's what I'm doing now. We got myself, we got Jason Mcmurray, and Matt Dubois. Let's get into it.
Yes, this is why I bought these chairs. Jason, you got enough slack over there? No.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Audio levels good. Hear yourself?
You're good in mine.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Talk.
I'm talking.
Matt.
Check.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I think we're good.
I don't know.
Literally just set this up. We have no idea what we're doing here. We're at the Toronto Snowmobile Show, and this is going to be the pre-ride podcast. I don't know if that's the official
Pre-ride
name
or
for it.
Pre-ride or post-ride?
Post-ride podcast.
Post-ride.
And yeah, with the boys, we'll get together after a day of riding and just shoot the shit about the day and kind of mix in some clips, talking points, and yeah.
Yeah, a little behind-the-scenes stuff.
I think it'll be interesting. Let people in a little bit, They'll get to hear what we got up to that isn't maybe in the videos.
Yeah, because there's a lot of shit that we don't talk about or doesn't get captured in the videos that happens in the day. And it'll be good to go over that. And
There's going to be things that we can't talk about either, right?
like what? Like where we rode?
Well, we always ride Boulder, so that's
exactly.
okay.
So
but
that doesn't matter.
yeah.
Only Boulder. I'm more worried about the amount of editing. How much can we
Matt can
cuss
do it.
in this
It's
thing?
fine.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, that I won't worry about that.
We're not big
We're
cussers.
unfiltered.
Unfiltered.
Until we get the Jerry's on, then I think we'll have to filter them.
That'll just be one long beep.
Yeah, for real. Let me just drink here.
You've been battling this weekend.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend, 3 days of talking, and went into it with a sore throat, so we're struggling, but we're surviving.
Plus, you've done lots of other shows this year, too, so.
Yeah, we've done Heydays. We went out to Edmonton. We almost made it to New Hampshire, maybe next year.
Almost.
And I think after this weekend, that's going to be about it, and then we're just waiting for snow.
So, well, really what we're waiting for is sleds.
Well, some of us are.
I got a call in August, late August, saying one of my sleds was in.
Yeah.
But that sled's in BC, and it's not really.
And what about those sleds? Are we going to talk about those sleds?
What sleds we
What's
ordered?
coming? What's on the way, Matt?
Well, for me, I don't know if I'm going to say everything, but I ordered another 165 Chaos boost, and I kept my 165 Gen 5 turbo from last year, so it would be cool to compare those two sleds. And we may have ordered a 146. May have been a Freeride, may have been a Lynx. We'll have to wait and see.
Ah.
Yeah, what about you guys? Sticking with the Polaris's?
Yeah. Boost again.
Boost?
Just boost,
Yeah.
Chaos boost. As long as they show up before I head west, that's the only concern. It's the concern for the past few years. So I don't know. Don't really have a backup plan. Maybe a dues in the works if that doesn't happen. So I don't know.
I don't think you could go wrong with a do. Polaris maybe left a bit of a sour taste in some people's mouths after last winter, but hopefully, it's after COVID now. Supply chain issues shouldn't be such an issue. So as long as we get our parts that they're saying we're going to get, we should be all right.
Yeah.
And Jason, what'd you order?
Yeah, I got a boost on order as well, 55 Chaos with
But
the new 3 1/4 track.
Oh yeah. That
I'm
track's
excited
pretty-
for that.
Yeah, it should be pretty wicked.
And
I don't-
there's lots of things that I think change, like the rail profile.
Yeah,
No one's really making a big deal about that, but I think you're gonna really feel that, I think, and it's worth it to me to get that and just some of the new upgrades.
You want the rail just because it's kind of the middle ground between a Chaos
Yeah,
and a...
well, in the past I kind of experimented. My first Chaos was a 2020, and I always found it was a little too trenchy and like really wheelie crazy. And so I put RMK rails in that way back then, and kind of was trying to find a middle ground. And I think it'll be good, like kind of halfway between.
Yeah, I think it's going to benefit everyone. I mean, if you wanted the RMK, but it was a little too tame, and then you wanted the Chaos, but it was a little too rowdy, this is going to be the middle ground that's going to be perfect, I think.
Yeah, I found my Pro last year because I wanted to tried the Pro since I had the Chaos the year before, and it was just, especially not having that extra power of the turbo, I found I was just way too planted, especially coming from a Skidoo my whole life, you know, getting that ski lift, going to the Pro.
Really?
That video,
Yeah.
I'll put that in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after a few weeks riding that Pro last year, I was like, man, it's time for some more ski lift.
Yeah. But at the same point, like, you can appreciate what a Pro can do.
Oh.
It's a get shit done sled.
It
is. And there's days when the snow conditions were a little lower, I didn't need the power of the turbo. That thing, it went some places, and then I put it in some situations that I was a little freaked out in. I was like, oh no, what did I put myself in now? But it handled it well.
Yeah, and it depends on your style too, right? Like, a lot of people laugh at the stupid stuff we do with the 15 bow ties and pirouettes and re-entries and stuff, and they're not into that. They just want to go get places and get shit done.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
There's people that, you know, after they see a couple of days of us just doing bow ties and re-entries in the videos, they're like, all right, guys, I think it's enough. We've been watching the same bow tie here for 3 years.
Yeah,
but
I can see that.
you know, when we get into an open area like that, it's
just fun.
It's just fun to go screw around on a hill for a bit, and then we go off and onto the next thing. It's just, that's kind of what gets captured in the videos, because that's what's easy to film, because you're just there watching someone do it, where tree lines and other stuff is just
It's
so
hard
much
to
more
capture,
difficult.
and we talked about that a little bit this weekend of trying to like capture some of the tree riding.
Actually set up shots.
Yeah, because that at the end of the day, that's mostly what we do, but
Yeah.
we don't get.
It's all just GoPro.
That's
and
exactly.
it just doesn't justify it. We're going to do some more interesting stuff with GoPro this year, though. So hopefully we could get everybody, maybe not everybody, but a couple guys mic'd up and really following each other close through the trees, and just with Bluetooth communicators. So we're kind of talking to each other, capturing that audio, just chirping each other.
There's a lot of chirping.
Cussing each other out as we try and chase each other through the woods. That should be
that's
be pretty fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole different field. Like, I think people are going to get a kick out of it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I talk to myself so much in my helmet, and then sometimes I'm thinking, I'm like, it's probably a good thing I'm not mic'd up right now, but I think this is going to be good.
Do you guys sing to yourself?
Yeah, I do.
Only on like the boring parts, like the trails, like where I got to go to my happy place. You know, the whoops.
Yeah.
Like 10K
Sometimes
whoops.
I just get a song stuck in my head, and I'll just kind of hum it.
Yeah,
I
it's usually a song
cut
I'm
that
not
out.
willing to tell people that I have stuck in my
That's why
head.
it doesn't make it in the videos.
But no, it's good. I'm super pumped to get the season kicked off.
Speaking of filming, are we talking about the other new experimental thing you're going to try?
The
Or-
FPV stuff?
Yeah.
Or is that top secret?
No, it's not top secret. I just hopefully we follow through with this. So,
So you're super practiced up and you're ready to go.
So we had Mike out with us last year doing some FPV stuff, and like it definitely adds a wow factor to the video. And I've thought about doing it for a couple of years, but like I already have a DJI Mini 3 Pro. I got the Skydio 2, which I don't even think they're making that anymore. But you know, I have a drone for kind of every situation, and now I got to add one more to the pack. So
Yeah, that's a whole nother level of drone, though.
yeah, that'll be the one drone you take for the day for sure, because you got goggles you got to put on with it, you got a big controller, the drone itself doesn't fold up, so it's pretty large. Then all the batteries that go with it, because the batteries only last a few minutes.
Right.
I would think the learning curve alone on that drone has got to be crazy.
Yeah, so I flew a simulator for, I think I only did 10 hours. They probably recommend a lot more, but flew a simulator on my laptop for 10 hours. I was like, man, this is really difficult. Start flying the drone, and I just like cruised along. And the hardest thing was coming back down to my house plan, because I'm kind of in the trees. And with the FPV drone here, you can't really see below you because the camera is attached to the drone. So when you drive forward, the camera points down. When you're level, the camera's kind of pointing up. Right? So when you need to kind of just hover and go down, you have no idea where you are. So you have to kind of go down, circle around my house, and then, like, after I did it.
So that point of view isn't adjustable? Like your
It
camera
is
angle?
adjustable, but not while the drone's in the air.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely super steep learning curve. Chased Derek around on a dirt bike for a bit. Got some really cool shots. Just simple stuff. But if we can get the same kind of stuff with the sleds, that'll be.
I think you're going to get some money shots with the sleds.
Yeah.
Like, snowmobiles on snow are just so magical.
Yeah.
And then
Especially
to
when
do some of those chase shots, like off jumps or whatever, that's going to look cool.
Like the shots are what is happening on a snowmobile. Honestly, doesn't even have to be that cool. It's just the way it'll be captured with the drone.
And it adds like a cinematic factor to it.
Yeah, it's something different, right? Because we've been doing the same thing here in the videos for, is this year 4 or 5? I don't know.
I don't know. You're the captain of this shit.
For real. I think I started 2020. So 21, 2, 3, year 5. Holy shit. Does not feel that long.
Yeah, and to think of it, Think of 4 years ago. We're sitting in a booth at a sled show right now selling merch. Did you ever think that was going to carry you into where you're at right now?
Snowmobiling being such a small niche, I never expected like me uploading a few YouTube videos, and I guess it was more than a few, but never expected it to gain the traction it did. So it's cool to be here and see the stoke that people have to come out, meet us, and hang out.
Yeah, what I find funny at these shows is like the range of the audience.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's
From
hilarious.
little kids to older men, older women.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. The reach that you see that you don't really understand until you go to a show and just see the people coming up, you're like, wow. Like it touches a lot of different people that aren't even in the sled industry.
No,
They're just,
for sure.
They just enjoy it.
It's actually really cool. The coolest conversation I have, or that people tell me about, is you got me back into sledding. That's what I like
I've heard
to hear.
that a few times this weekend.
Yeah, that's what the sport needs, right? The more people we have in it, the better. And I don't know where I'm going with that.
I've definitely had quite a few people come up to the booth and say, like, I went out west because I started watching these videos.
Yeah.
That I think you pushed a lot of people to the mountains. Whether that's good or bad for us, I don't know. And the locals probably aren't a fan, but
no, I mean it's good for businesses, business owners. I'm sure they love it. Some of the local guys, I mean, definitely don't.
Yeah.
But it's not just me.
There's enough mountain to go around.
Pushed that many people to town. Like mountain snowmobiling in the last 10 years has evolved a lot, and a lot more people have got into it. With the evolvement of the mountain snowmobile specifically, like where a Gem 5 turbo could take you compared to what was a sled 10 years ago.
Well, look at yourself on the
summit. So it would have been
E-Tech.
an
XP, I guess, 10 years ago.
It was just getting to the XM.
Okay.
First Skidoo anyway.
Right.
So an 800. Let's say an XP. You're not putting that thing in the places. I mean, I didn't even ride back then.
I'd like to see you try. I think we should get some old iron again. That old video of what was it, the ZX
yeah,
chassis
the
or whatever?
2000,
A
700.
lot of people were
Summit.
talking. Summit, sorry.
136.
Yeah, if you could find something older, a little longer, that's, again, a little more capable to see if we can get it into the actual places we go, would be
Yeah, we need.
I want to see if you have as big of balls as the generations before us that were sending
I
those
think
things.
we know the answer to that.
Yeah, I know we do, but nobody's sending that thing like they used to. But
we'll leave that up
I'd like
to
to
you.
see someone
You're
try.
like our in-house jump guy. Let's get you on some old
Jump
iron
guy.
sending it.
I think my
I
favorite clip of someone on an old ZX chassis is I think it's Alfred shooting off the cliff, landing, and then you just see him cart rolling down the hill. Ragdoll.
Yeah, those were different times.
So we'll get a ZX chassis, we'll get a Rev chassis, we'll get an XP chassis,
Sweet.
and we'll all get out.
That'd be funny. Yeah.
And see what can be done, see what happens.
Well, it would make you appreciate what you got. We're
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
We
yeah.
are nitpicking about our ski rubbers, and our,
Yeah.
our screens, and this and that.
It's like,
and
oh, I can't go back from a turbo now.
for
But
real.
it's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to ride a 600 this year just to see what it's got. Because,
Yeah.
you can still manage. I think you could still manage with a 600.
Well, and like you said, it'd be pretty funny to sock it to some of our buddies that are on 850 turbos, and you're on a
Turbos or
600 and you're
65.
still getting it done. Like, that'll be funny.
Well,
Yeah,
hopefully
it's
we
doable.
could get it done.
I
Yeah.
think you can get it done.
Talking
It's
big
how
game
much,
here.
How
It's
much
just
more
gonna
work
be a
it
lot
takes.
of track
Yeah.
poaching.
Yeah. depends on the conditions, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the lighter sled is going to be a huge difference in low snow conditions.
yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of lightweight and sleds and stuff, what are you guys doing for mods? I know Matt.
I'm a big mod guy.
Yeah, I know you're a big mod guy.
Big mods.
Big mod guy.
Myself, not much.
How much?
Backwoods bumpers, wrap, maybe throw some bars on. I might even run the
Yeah.
stock bars this year. I don't plan to do much. We were talking 10 minutes ago about helium hoods and trying to figure out, I wonder if it's worth it. I mean, it's like 7 pounds difference, but do you feel 7 pounds? Like,
I was actually thinking about doing a carbon hood. Honestly, I'm like, man, you could shed a bunch of weight off the top of the sled.
Yep.
well, we
And-
figured it was about 7 pounds on a helium hood. Carbon would be, I guess,
I think
even
it's
more than
around
that.
8 or 9, depending
Okay.
on which variation you go with.
Yep.
So, last year I was gonna get on a mod sled, and
That
didn't
worked
quite,
out good.
Yeah.
didn't quite happen. So I feel like we should throw a few mods onto one of my sleds. I don't know which one, but and not do it all at once. Kind of progression into that as the season
And
goes
see
on.
what you actually feel by modding,
exactly.
too.
That's exactly what I'm
Because
doing
everyone
this
just throws everything on at the start of the season. It's like, yeah, this is the best sled ever. Then
Yeah.
You
you
have
know
no,
it's
no
stock.
idea difference
Yeah.
from your stock, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing this year. I'm gonna do obviously like front rear bumper
Yeah, of
stuff like
course.
that. That's protection stuff. But
Yeah.
then stuff like my spindles and stuff like that, I'm just gonna
Try both.
go back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ride stock, go with the elevated spindles and
Yeah.
feel the difference, see how
I was
much
gonna
better
do
they
that.
are,
I was thinking the same for those parts.
and
for
do
sure.
one thing at a time, so you're not,
Wondering,
overlapping.
did anything
Did
happen?
that change it or
Exactly.
did this? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was saying with the lightweight hood. Is 7 pounds up top like that something you're gonna feel in your riding? That's again from having never done any type of mod like that or anything lightweight. Am I gonna notice? That's what I always wonder.
I don't know if the average guy would, but I think you do. Like, look at when you take the stuff off your tunnel to do some.
That's true.
Stuff on the back of the tunnel makes a huge difference. But do you notice when you have a full tank versus an empty tank of fuel?
Yeah, the day's pretty well done when your tank's empty. I noticed that.
But that's hard to tell because start of the day, you're fresh, your arms aren't tired, you're just pumped. So full tank, you're like, yeah, whatever, I'll muscle it. End of the day, you're already burnt. All this, your sled's lighter. You probably
Yeah,
don't notice it
it's
because
true.
your body has slowed down throughout it.
And it's gradually
It's
coming out of
gradual,
your
right? It's
sled.
not just
Exactly.
that instant taking the tunnel bag off and making that pull that you couldn't make with the tunnel bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I think you'd see those lightweight mods is end of the day or lengthening your day. Like how much longer you can keep your strength and energy
Yeah.
through the day. If the sled's that much lighter, you're getting
Just less energy.
less beat up through the day.
Yeah.
I think that is where that really works in.
Ultimately, if money was no object, then for sure, like everything, go lightweight, everything. It's gonna make a difference.
I thought about like it'd be neat to buy one of Chris Brandt's,
Super
modded
lightweight
super
mods?
lightweight sleds to run that against the stock sled for a season.
Yep.
Just to because he always kind of raves about that, and I haven't really had an opportunity to get on a lightweight build to feel what it's like. And there's all those guys that say, oh, he can only get these places because he's on that lightweight build, or he can only do this line because he's on this. I think we know he could do those either way.
On a
On a
stock
bone
sled.
stalker, of course.
Yeah.
Well, they say it's like a disease though.
Yeah.
Like I've heard Dan Adams
When you
say
start,
that. Like
once you-
Chris got him into it, and then now he's like, yeah, it's like an addiction.
Yeah,
I
again,
could
it goes back to that budget thing. Right?
Yeah.
If it's unlimited budget, right? It's like the way I look at it, I'm like, the more I spend into the sled, shortens the amount of time I ride because
Yeah.
of budget. Like I'll get more days if I spend less money in aftermarket parts
sure does.
because
That's true.
that's my accommodations, my fuel in the sled, all of that.
It's nothing
So-
to do with what your wife says when you have to come home.
Well, that's part of it.
Yeah, I know that's true, and that's kind of what I preach to a lot of people too. Like, don't,
Focus on your skill.
spend the, maybe go do a clinic, like get better that way. Like,
Yeah. Spending more time on the sled is going to make you a better rider than spending.
there's nothing
Money
that's
on
gonna.
parts.
No, exactly. There's no part out there that's gonna make you a better rider.
We've all seen it. We've
Yeah,
all
yeah.
seen it in the parking lot. The guy
Oh.
that's got the most modded sled, and then you
Oh,
see
yeah.
him in the mountain later, you're like, oh,
Or you just see him wrenching all day on it.
there's that.
Oh, please.
I mean,
Oh, I'm not talking about you.
Jason
I
did
felt
just in
that was like
general.
a personal attack.
No. I think the worst one for that was Devon.
Destroyer Devon?
Destroyer Devon.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
That was, what, 2 seasons ago that it was?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it turned him right off of snowmobiling.
I don't blame him. Like, yeah, it can get pretty discouraging when you're having issues with your sled. And
Oh, yeah.
Even just minor stuff. Like,
Yeah.
well, just we both had a few little hiccups last year, and like
yeah,
it's enough to
yeah,
piss you off a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's part of it. It just sucks, especially when you're. I mean, I drive 48 hours to get to Revelstoke.
Yep.
I have one sled. So
Your
if that
time's
sled's
limited.
down, it's like, man,
Yep.
like your day's done. It might be out for a couple days, and then that's a kicker, you know.
One sled is tough.
Yeah.
it is.
When you're driving that far and you have to rely on that sled that you just bought, it's like this thing needs to work.
And I think, like, compared to the average guy, we ride more.
Yep.
So we're putting more miles on than
Your average rider, for
person.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in some aspects, you ride stuff harder too. So like,
Yeah.
there's that factor. You're beating the crap out of that sled. Like,
That's what I said earlier. It's a good thing we got a buddy that has a few extra sleds.
the problem is he puts a finger throttle on everything. That's like his like deterrent right there.
Yeah, that's his like.
If you're not willing to
anti-theft
learn
device.
the finger throttle, then
Matt,
you're
you
not
didn't run the
taking
finger throttle either?
No, I tried it. I rode
Oh,
E-Man sled for a bit,
and you went back,
I liked the feel of it. I was getting arm pump. Like
Yeah.
I was getting
you
arm,
just-
I
I've-
just wasn't used to it. But the feel wise, I did feel like I had good grip on everything. The handling was nice. I was just getting arm pump, and that's what I talked to a few guys, and they said when you're first learning it,
Yeah.
that learning curve of you
For sure.
do get arm pump.
If you just throw it on right at the start of the season when you can't ride anyway,
Yeah, you don't know.
then you don't even notice.
I've been on a thumb throttle since I'm 4 years old.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's better or worse, but it's like a mental block in my brain at this point that it's like that's
Also,
what I
though,
want.
What blows my mind is the thumb throttle hasn't changed since snowmobiles have existed.
Not really, no.
Like they haven't evolved at all.
Yeah.
But the Sea-Doo's got a finger throttle. So
Yeah.
Right.
what reason do you think they don't come or wouldn't try a finger throttle from the factory?
From the factory? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Probably
especially
just because the
Sea-Doo and
masses
Sea-Doo.
are used to the thumb throttle.
Then if you think of that aspect, I mean, Sea-Doo's put some pretty odd grips on their Sea-Doos too with
Yeah.
those big,
Yeah.
like,
Did Sea-Doos
palm
used to be
holders.
thumb throttle?
yeah. I have
Oh.
a Sea-Doo at home
Okay.
that's thumb throttle.
Oh, okay. Before my time.
Come on, Matt. I've gone both ways in the Sea-Doo world, and it was never a learning curve. It's just the sledding for some reason.
Okay.
The arm pump was getting.
Well,
me.
let's face it. A Sea-Doo versus a snowmobile in the mountains.
Yeah,
There's
you're
a lot
just
of
sitting on your ass, just bombing around.
yeah.
on a
You're
Sea-Doo.
not dicing between trees and cliff edges and like.
Come on, same thing.
There's a little more to lose.
Yeah,
You hit those big waves out there on the
Yeah.
ocean, and
Yeah.
it's just like hitting a big jump.
Right.
I don't know.
There's no
Yeah.
suspension on them though.
The water suspension.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Hey, they made a Sea-Doo with suspension for a couple of years.
Cool.
I remember those.
Yeah.
The seat
was
was
just built in the
suspension,
seat
wasn't it?
thing?
Yeah.
I think it was the whole chassis.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Then they stopped.
Before
we
my
need
time.
we need a fact check on that.
Yeah.
I
Put a
don't think
video
it
up.
was that long ago, like
Okay.
4 or 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not in the Sea-Doo world.
Cottage.
Sea-Doo guy.
Cottage country. Lots of Sea-Doos.
That's your next
They're-
buy.
You're already
I think-
well hated on your lake.
Yeah, you became the boat guy on your lake now.
I did become the boat guy on the lake, and it's I stirred
And
the
not in a
pot.
good way, I think. You've been the boat guy that people are like, oh, shit, Matt's out on the boat.
Reckless.
I'm not the loudest one out there. Maybe the people think I'm the most reckless for sure.
I think it was more of that, the comments I seen.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this so close to the shoreline?
Well, it's people watch a video and they're like, "Oh, you're way too close to
Yeah.
shore." I'm like,
It's the aspect.
it's only,
Same
I
as-
only have to be 100 feet from shore, and there's no speed limit on the lake. So
I could see that changing soon.
I
Speed limits or restrictions?
the
further?
restriction
Yeah,
to
like
shore.
the
Like,
lake's like still the only outlaw place where there's no like
no.
It's just a drag strip.
yeah like sleds
Yeah.
and boats. You know.
I think we're getting off topic here.
Yeah,
Yes, sorry.
that's okay. That's what we're going for.
I mean, this is kind of just shooting the shit today.
Yeah, we didn't have anything.
No,
for
we
sure
didn't.
needed to talk
We didn't
about,
really
but-
write down any notes. We kind of just
No.
set the-
unboxed and
literally just unboxed this equipment 25 minutes ago.
Wow.
shit, 25
Press
minutes,
record.
not bad.
And here we are. Are we going longer?
I don't know. That's what we were saying about our actual podcast we're going to do, trying to figure out what that was going to be and where it's going to be. And we even were talking about like a parking lot podcast.
It'd be pretty cool because at the end of the day, we're always shooting the shit in the trailer or just around the trucks. We're always hyped up.
We're talking about it anyway. You might as well record it.
Exactly.
But it's like, is it going to be too much BS in the parking lot? Like, do we want to get like deeper into
subjects?
Yeah. Like when we put ourselves in city shit.
Yeah.
In shitty situations, do we actually want to like talk about it at the end of the day? Like, maybe that wasn't the best idea to do what we did, or something we saw that we wanted, because we're not going to get into that in the parking lot. I don't think.
No, I think we're going to get into like,
the beer.
Thinking, wow, there's those, but it's laughing. Like it's the funny shit that happened through the day, like the moments and stuff that like when we're in the parking lot, they're still fresh, right? So it's like it's hilarious.
I think the whole podcast would just be constant laughter, though.
It will be. It will be. Especially if the Jerry's are there.
Cursing.
Oh yeah.
Where are the Jerry's? Why are there no Jerry's at your booth?
It is really hard to get the Jerry's
like an hour and a half away
into the city.
Well, what time is it? It's probably nap time.
It's beer o'clock for those boys Sunday.
Yeah, that's what we said. Next year, maybe we'll do like shotguns with Jerry's or something.
Yeah, next year we're going to bring the Jerry's to Heydays.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a booth drinking with Jerry's.
Yeah,
that's a great
They'll
idea.
have their own section because that'll be the rowdy area.
Well, everyone's just going to be hanging out with them.
Yeah, no one talking to you.
No.
That's all right.
It is funny how many people have asked that. Where's
everywhere?
The Jerry's?
Heydays here. Yeah. Everyone's like,
everyone loves
where's Jerry's?
Yeah. But that's great, though. It's great getting out with the old man, and it's always a good time. And
they're super fun to ride with. Like you're always like, well, like we'll be talking in the morning. Like, where are we gonna go ride today? Well, I don't know. I got my dad. Like, we can't go too crazy. Like, let's never.
But then
stop
you throw
in
your
the
dad
past.
into the crazy
no,
stuff. Anyways.
I say that, and then it end up.
We still do.
We still do this stupid shit.
Yeah.
But
it's all good. I think they enjoy it. I don't know.
It keeps me young.
What would they do?
Well, I think it depends.
Without us?
If they went on their own, what would they do?
They go up to the cabin.
They
go by the fireplace, make a fire, and
they'd go ride the same tree zones that they always ride.
That's what they do when we're not with them. They just go to a zone that we frequent and rip up the trees for a day and have some fun. But it's not like they're getting into the same kind of shit.
No, you're definitely pushing them.
Does your dad use a GPS or like a phone app or anything?
He uses the same GPS on his phone that I do.
Does he know how to use it?
He's like, at first he didn't do anything. He didn't track. He just rode with me. It was like, oh, this guy's he's got it figured out. I don't need to pay attention. And then there's a couple days where he's like,
you lost him.
No, I didn't. I'm like, yeah, I can't ride today. Sorry. And he's like, well, what the hell am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm like, here's this app. You gotta start tracking on here. I drew him a line. I'm like, if you go up to here,
right,
it'll be familiar. You'll get your way around.
I think he's capable. Like, we were pretty deep in Boulder.
Yeah.
Me, you, and E-Man. Just in the middle of nowhere, and we hear sleds coming, and all of a sudden, here comes Jerry just bombing out and finds us.
Hold on. I just got to say a word. You got to say Boulder, because I got to put that over the...
Boulder.
Right.
But yeah, and my dad also realized, he's like, if these guys get injured one day, and
that's true,
we got to figure our own way out of here, or there's a breakdown, I got to know where I am, right?
Yeah, like, let's face it, some of the Jerry's, like, not going to name any names like Joe, but man, like, he's lost. He gets lost in the parking lot.
He's a riot.
He's got Jesse, though.
Yeah,
he's like his babysitter.
Good thing. Yeah. No, it's super fun, and I don't mind pulling their skis because they pull mine too. So
I'll give your dad that.
Man, he's
like an animal. He has pulled my ski. He's the first one to turn around and come pull anyone's ski.
Yeah,
like
that's because he likes to put those in the bank.
Yeah, I know. I think he's
back pocket.
just filling the bank so that he knows he's covered.
Someone owns them.
It's all right. I'm pretty grateful for it sometimes.
Oh, for sure. So we were talking earlier. Like, I know we won't get into like specifics about details on zones and stuff, but like
Boulder.
Obviously, we ride all over the place or whatever, but I've been spending a lot of time on Google Earth and Topo apps and stuff.
How often do you send me a location you want to go?
Yeah, that's the frustrating part. I'll send Matt, be like, hey, what do you think about this spot? Then he'll send me a picture of like a million tracks that he's already put in. Damn it. It's not very often I send him a spot that doesn't have tracks.
You got a few last week.
Yeah, I got a couple now. I'm starting to get really creative.
I think you might be getting too creative.
Oh,
But
Pushing the
we'll
boundary
find
that
out.
little bit, maybe?
Well, unless you want to sling your sleds up some cliffs. It might be
If
too
we heli
creative.
into here, Matt
Yeah.
hasn't been there yet.
I think, not to toot our own horns, but we explore, I think,
Oh, yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest person that pushes me to explore is Dallas for sure, but we've explored
Explorer
a ton.
Dallas.
His name's
Dallas.
Explorer Dallas
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah, he gets some crazy ideas. Sometimes he goes a little overboard, and I'm like trying to pull him back. I'm like, I think it's a good balance.
Yeah.
Because
You and him.
I think he'd kill himself if it wasn't for somebody being like,
Which is funny, you claiming the responsible half of that relationship. You're always the guy. It's like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and we're looking
We could
down
go
the
in there.
drainage.
hey,
Let's go.
that's not dangerous though. That's just like
Night riding.
yeah,
Guaranteed.
that's just an adventure.
Yeah, but we're always out of gas and stuff.
Oh, it's still an adventure.
You're usually the guy that is literally on the gas light and be like, oh, we could go down there.
No, last year
It's a shortcut.
it's you guys because you're on the boost and they're the ones chugging fuel.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this year was expensive on the gasoline bill. Holy man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, the boost
when I'm
is crazy.
burning through my full tank plus my
your Jerry
3-gallon Jerry
and still getting in the truck
and had
out
to
of gas.
run out on the trail going down having to
Yeah.
bum fuel off guys, like that's bad. And I'm not like riding more than I
No, it's the boost.
normally would. Like,
Wait till you see Dawson's Jerry Can this year.
what's he doing?
Well, you're just gonna have to wait and see.
Okay.
He's got a whole
gonna have a
tank on his
sleigh?
sled.
That's
Something
an
like that.
idea, actually. You know, somebody should bring up a sleigh.
You can haul it. I'll let you haul it.
It'll do fine through the
No,
whoops.
someone's got a sleigh and a groomer.
Holy jeez.
Why don't we just heli a tank into the mountain somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, along with some
Whoa.
Polaris clutches.
How about we
Don't talk like that.
we just make it so our sleds can run on straight avgas. And then you know those heli
like where this
fuel
is
ups? You know those heli fuel ups?
Oh, yeah.
There's a few of them around in the
They're not
mountains.
locked either. Actually, I don't know. I never.
I have
really
no
looked,
idea.
but I've seen a few. Yeah.
Is there any other points we wanted to? I don't think I had any notes at
Pull
all.
out the list,
I think you have the
boys.
list. I think Jason's going to be the host.
Jason's gonna be the list.
I don't know
man.
what he's going to do, what I'm going to do when he's gone.
I don't know. I don't know how much of this we want to get into like today,
No.
but
Let's just, if we have a few key points that we want to. No.
Well, it's
I think
also
we kinda
like, I
covered
think
it.
a lot of people don't understand that, like, we're all close, but we don't really see each other other than a show
Yeah,
or
that's
when we're out west.
Why we're doing this right now.
Exactly. That's what I mean. We're not going to see each other again until after Christmas.
Yeah, I guess so.
thank God.
Like, yeah. Screw you guys.
Yeah, I've done enough shows with you guys.
But yeah, it's like everyone's like, oh, they're all from Ontario, Quebec. They're right there.
Yeah,
No,
we're all
we're
Yeah,
not.
must
4
be
hours
neighbors.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you two are 8 hours apart,
yeah.
close to it.
rough. Yeah, 6-ish, something like that.
But,
everything's a
I
haul.
don't know. So what have we talked about? We kind of talked about sleds that are coming.
Yeah.
Kind of plans for this year.
Plans for our sleds, plans for the post-ride podcast, not
Right.
the pre-ride podcast.
Yeah, post ride, Matt. Come on.
And
we ain't doing a pre-ride podcast. I'll tell you that right now.
I think we
Both?
should do
Two a day?
That's when we're going to be sharp. We should do the pre-ride podcast.
I'll be at your house at
It's
7 a.m.
Yeah,
I'll be
Matt,
in
are
bed.
you ready for the pre-ride?
I think
podcast?
I'm always the first one ready to go. So
Really? Ready to go where?
Come on.
Yeah,
no,
the old-
sometimes I definitely lag behind.
Sometimes.
It's when I'm filming you guys. It's just
You're
It's
consistent
tiring on you.
You're consistent.
consistently late.
every day.
Yeah,
I think you
I've
beat
learned
me
that,
one day
though.
last
I
season.
did. It's when
to the
I'm
parking lot.
excited for those Bluebird POW days. I'm always
Or when
ready
you
to go.
plan like a big mission you've been looking at and
Yeah.
you're like, those you're usually up pretty early.
Unless you get stuck at the house a little longer, which
Or forget your helmet in the house. Or
forget your key, forget your helmet, forget your beacon.
Beacon.
Yeah, I think we've all done at least one of those things.
Dude, I thought about making a checklist to go on like my visor.
yeah,
just
Of
like,
all
your
your visor of my truck. So
Okay.
I get in my
Okay, yeah, I was
truck
gonna
and be
say.
like, before I even leave the driveway, go through the checklist.
Yeah.
Have this. Because at least if it's in the truck, well,
that'll save
Big
you
note
for
guy.
like leaving the house stuff, or like I helied my truck keys back to town and had to
Right.
drive, what was it, an hour and a bit into town to get
Oh,
the
yeah.
heli day that we helied 2 sleds out.
yeah.
Your keys
You left
were
your
in-
backpack.
Well, I was wearing my backpack. I'm pretty sure you were the one that was like, hey, Matt, heli your backpack.
Oh,
out
So you don't have
because
to carry
put
it.
it on me. I'm like, if you guys have anything you want to send back with the sleds all the way to town.
Well, I'll blame it on someone.
So that
who
was the
mentioned
day that you
backpack.
guys broke
Yeah,
2 sleds.
Exactly.
So my clutch exploded.
Yeah.
Shocker.
That's new.
Shocker.
And
And Derek exploded
his chain
some
case.
gears on the chain
Yeah,
case.
and that was.
And then, so I was double riding Derek out. So someone said, send the backpack because you're double riding. So not thinking, threw the backpack on the heli, which is all the way back in town. And we get out to my truck. After all the trouble of getting there, I had no truck keys
And then that's when you realized it.
at the truck.
So you couldn't
When-
even get in your
no,
truck.
I couldn't get in my truck. I couldn't do nothing. I think I just left the sleds on the side of the road,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
beside where the truck was. Drove all the way to town, get to where to pick up the keys. It's after hours, so they're closed. To bang around, finally get the truck keys, and then someone had to drive us an hour back. Like that was,
It's a long day.
was the guy that gave you your truck keys nice and friendly?
oh yeah, very nice family. Yeah, no, not so much. He was not so excited that we had to interrupt him from whatever he was doing. But oh well, live and learn. Next time,
Yeah, that's why.
Next time Jason
you
can
leave
double
your
ride
keys
someone.
in your truck.
leave your keys in your truck.
I'm not going to
That's-
say
you're
where
gonna-
I leave mine,
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say
they're not
you're
in my
gonna put
pocket,
that
I'll
on a
say
pocket.
that.
So
Yeah,
everybody,
I just
Matt's
leave my
keys are in his
keys
truck.
right in my ignition. So if you ever need a ride back to town or need some extra fuel, maybe some hats.
Yeah, but you're a Ford guy.
my
You
truck.
got that little
No, yeah, I got
thing.
the combo.
So I
yeah,
can't pull that.
That's high
that
tech.
trick.
Chevy, yeah.
Chevy, no,
We
no.
don't got that kind of technology.
Come on.
Or you can just leave your keys in your gas cab like literally every single sledder does.
I would never do that.
You're going to have to move them now.
He gave away his secret.
All right.
Great.
Are we wrapping this thing up? I'm
so.
sure you
We're-
guys want to get back home, eh?
Yeah, I
4
got
hours.
5 hours.
5 hours. And 3.5 hours.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
we're
2.5.
ranging in on 40 minutes here.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
I'll clean this show up by myself. Or if
That
you
was our
guys could just
plan.
get back to your families, it's all right.
I like it.
Well, I
I
like
got-
it too.
No, that's cool. I appreciate the help at the shows and you guys hanging out. It's always a good time and excited for the first post-ride podcast.
Yeah, I guess.
Sweet.
See you boys after Christmas, or I guess in the
Yeah.
new year. You're.
Yeah, it won't be till probably January 3rd will be my first ride with you guys anyway.
We'll get a few practice days in before you're back.
Yeah, I'll get 20 days.
Come on. I've heard it before that you're going out December 1st. Let's see. Let's
yeah, I
see.
did say that last year. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you on the next one.